This is RadioFire.com. Yours truly, Don McKay, in here as always with
Rifah.
Rifah in the building. How you doing?
Yay.
Have you or do you watch the Bill Maher show?
I do catch it from time to time.
What do you think about Bill Maher?
I think that sometimes his opinion is dead on, and I think sometimes he can be a little bit male chauvinist-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's an up and down. Like, for the most part, he's a cool person, and I think he's on line with most.
So
people.
you actually agree with a lot of things that Bill Maher says?
I do.
Not
everything though. Not everything.
Yeah. So my father likes Bill Maher show, and he watches Bill Maher like every Friday.
Faithfully.
And if he misses it, then he
DVR.
You know what I mean? He really likes Bill Maher's show. I think that he's okay. Here's what brought Bill Maher. What made me pay attention to Bill Maher is that he fucked Superhead.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Ooh,
and so
he got that credit.
Yeah, so this was a couple years back. So I was just like, what? Like, and I said, let me pay attention and see what. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. But you know what I mean. So anyway, for people that are unaware, I guess why we're even talking about Bill Maher. Bill Maher yesterday, he was talking to Senator. And the senator asked him, like, you're gonna, get out in the field with us and work,
right?
Come out here and do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of, no, not me. Get in the field, like
I'm a house nigga. So
basically saying I'm not gonna be out there doing that. And that was his idea of a joke, and the audience laughed and applauded at that, and they thought that it was funny. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was funny though.
But aren't audiences?
And he's a comedian as well.
Yeah, but aren't audiences instructed to laugh and clap even when they don't think?
Well, that wasn't something that he knew that he was going to say. So the applause lights are there at the key points. We're going to go to break. Applause.
Right,
we know it's going to happen.
Right.
That was just something spontaneous that he just said.
Okay.
And so the confusion that some people may think is what's wrong. He didn't call a black person the N-word. Right. He called himself the N-word. Mm-hmm. And so what before we get to his thoughts on it, let's talk about yours. So do you think that he was wrong using the word at all?
Politically correct, of course, yes.
What do you mean by that?
Because that's kind of a double standard type of answer. Of course, politically correct. Anyone of any kind of position in public, in any kind of platform should know better not to use those type of words. Just because you should, this is your field, so you should know what incites people, what would get people. You've been on TV long enough to know your fans and whatnot. But then at the same token, let's be real. We call each other the N-word every day. Whether it's to your face, whether it's behind your back, whether it's you and your friends, whether it's you and your significant other, whoever it is, we say it every day. The word is going to continue to exist. It's never going to go away. Now what?
I understand what you're saying, but I think that's the same logic that people used when they voted for Trump or didn't vote. When they say it's not going to affect me, I can't change it, it's not going to affect my life, what's the big deal? Why do I care? He wasn't talking to me. You know what I mean? And I think that you can see the mess that we're in with Donald Trump.
It's a touchy sip. I think if this was maybe in the President Obama era or before that, when things were maybe less hostile or less volatile, then maybe this joke would have been okay and it wouldn't be super sensitive. But I'm looking at it from both angles. Am I upset that, yes, on TV, a Caucasian person had the nerve to call himself an N-word, as if he could ever understand the implications of what it means to be an N-word?
And there's he's a comedian. He's also an atheist. There's no possible way. And the fact that he slept with some black women does by no means does that
Make
give
it
him
okay for you.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know what I mean?
I'm a nigga too. I fuck black women too. No,
like, you don't have the past. Like we didn't officially, trade you in the system, and we didn't officially bring you over. There was speculation to bring you over, and maybe this will make a decision finally on whether or not the black delegation actually trade you, want to pick you up. But at the same token, listen, that's what it is.
Yeah,
jokes are jokes.
He was, I didn't find it funny. I think he was dead wrong doing that.
Humor
because to
is
me,
implied as well.
It was trying in that moment, and it was a quick live moment, and it was unscripted. It was improvised. He just said it. I get it, but that shows you the mindset. And this is somebody who's quote unquote cool. You know what I mean? This is the mindset that he thought that it was a good idea to demean and belittle because a house nigga, quote unquote, is a slave.
I understand
who doesn't
that.
work in the field. He works in the house.
Quote unquote has the privilege, and that was the point that I was honestly getting ready to bring up. That further exploits some people's idea in saying that, white people will never change. They've always been lazy. They've always looked for other races to
do the work,
everything for them, and then claim the credit. So it's like, I built this, this land on my back. Like, no, the land was built on the Mexicans and the Indians and the Asians and whoever else, and you just stood tall. And so I get. There's a lot of different feelings that could go into this.
Yeah.
You can feel like, so what? It's a word. He didn't direct it to anybody I know or to my race. He did it to himself. But
whatever. True. He didn't say it to anybody. He used it on himself. But in using the term, I think
creates issues.
Yeah, because it's belittling. It's just saying if you don't go out in the field, you a house like. That's crazy.
Then it also implies that being a house nigga was some sort of better as a slave than working out in the fields as a slave.
And that was something divisive. That was something divisive among us. A slave is still a slave.
You know what I mean?
That was divisive.
Just because my skin color is just maybe a shade lighter than yours, I get to call myself a house nigga, and I get to stay in the AC, and I get to, you know what I mean? As if you're still somehow better and you still get to eat with the rest of us, even though we are the ones who brought the food home, skinned it, killed it, boiled it, flayed it, and then got to sit and eat with you. And you know what I mean? So I get it.
Yeah.
We don't know whether he'll lose his job at this moment.
Yeah. So he has since apologized, and he said this. Let me read this quote. He said, "Friday nights are always my worst night of sleep because I'm up reflecting on things I should or shouldn't have said on my live show. Last night was a particularly long night as I regret I used a word in the banter of a live moment. The word I used was offensive and I regret saying it. I am very sorry." So this is the quote from this. That's the apology.
Okay, can I play devil's advocate to that as well? And Michael's comment, I do agree with you. You will always be my nigga, but at the same time, I will not think of you as quote unquote a nigga. Again, that's a very valid point. And for that is, again, he is a comedian. And he just has a talk show. So what is so different than, I'm just playing devil's advocate, okay? What is so different than this man being on a live stand-up audience show and he throws out a racial joke and he throws out some racial things versus him being on his show, which is still a platform to still be a comedian?
I mean, I think it would have been wrong. I don't think that there's ever a setting where a white comedian could use that. I would think it would be offensive if a black comedian used it, but not as offensive. I think it's not as offensive, but because I still think I still think that the connotation is You had people that died being slaves.
Right.
I don't
died
think it's
behind that word.
Yeah. I don't think that it's a
behind
joke.
That word.
I don't think it's funny.
Right.
I don't think somebody's saying, "Yo, you move that shit. Yo, you a field nigga." I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's funny.
We do it though. But that doesn't say that we don't do it. Now, I take your stance on certain things are not cool to play with. You know, certain things are not cool.
Somebody's mother passes away.
There's
no joke for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no way you can joke about.
Ancestry is something that you should never, especially with the attempts to go so far as to erase everything that holds so dear to African Americans, Latinos, and Indians, and those who have even the Jews, because they were the Holocaust is one of the aside from the Indians and what we went through, the Holocaust was one of those things.
I think that's a good point. Now, if Kevin Hart or Cat Williams says something about I'm not getting it. What you think is a gas chamber? What you think? If he made if Kevin Hart made a joke or Cat Williams made a joke about the Holocaust,
there would be some problems.
And getting in the gas chamber or something like that.
There would be some issues.
These Jewish people would come down with the hammer, like the boom.
It would be a lawsuit coming from somewhere. It would be but not even to laugh, but that is actually. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's actually what happened to the vice president. You got up there and you tried to say that Hitler didn't gas people. Excuse me. Not only did he gas people, this man built a bigger gas chamber to do more. So you know what I mean? It's just like that's just forever a touchy subject.
Well, that was Sean Spicer. That was Sean Spicer that said that. But yeah.
It's one of them. They all glumped in together, if you ask me, because they all have part of the same set, the same mindset. They all have this, take them down at any cost, risk, any. I just don't understand it. But to deny somebody something that was so hurtful that we're still living through. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just in Maryland as an example, we all know the history of Maryland. This was one of the most central ports of the slave trade.
Sure.
So the history behind Maryland is a bloody history already.
Yeah.
So that's just like throwing salt on the wounds of the history.
Right.
It's never going to go away because people won't allow it to go away, because every time we turn around, somebody's throwing salt.
It's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. It's there. It happened. You can't do nothing about it. But I think that when people try to make light of things, we have to make a conscious decision to
stand up
and show people that it's not correct, and then it will stop.
Right. Yeah.
And then the behavior will be broken. But if we don't, then it'll continue to.
This is just further proof that the conversations that people have outside of their professional life, we're not crazy people. We knew this from the jump. You understand what I'm saying? We knew that this is what y'all thought about us.
Yeah.
Y'all weren't hiding anything.
Right.
We knew all of our existence that this is how you felt about us. So
Correct.
All things done in the dark.
I agree. I agree with that, and it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. And he is somebody who is a polarizing figure. He has been, he's been fired before for comments that he's made. And
then he'll be back. He'll probably just be on suspension with paid leave. And go on and do some special event that they got coming on, and then next thing you know, he back right in that seat. That's just how they do. They just recycle people. They take them away, send them on vacation. Get them, send them to the therapy or whatever it is, because that's called a breakdown on TV.
What therapy?
No, when you say something that's out of character for the show, that's called a breakdown. You can classify that as a breakdown, and they'll send you to counseling, some therapy session, and then they'll issue this letter about how he went through some sensitivity training class.
True that.
And he's learned his lesson, and he'll probably do a nigga charity foundation.
Easy.
And then he'll be back on TV.
So do you think he needs to lose his job on HBO? Because that's where his show comes from, HBO.
But see, and then that's the thing, because HBO is known for pressing the button. I mean, The Wire and Oz and all of these other programs that kind of push the envelope as far as
it comes down to advertisers. It all comes down to advertising.
But again, right, that would have been my next thing.
React.
If them sponsors start, if the network starts getting enough phone calls, he will be canned. But if the heat isn't severe enough, then he'll stay there. But and then I'm gonna play devil's advocate again, because then some people will say the Miss Cooking lady lost her job over a 6-7-year-old nigga video. So
you're talking about Paula Deen?
Yeah. Paula Deen lost almost bankruptcy and everything for an old video of her saying the word nigga. So,
but she wasn't referring to herself. Obviously,
true.
She was talking about somebody else.
But it's still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The implications is she still said the word nigga.
Yeah.
Whether it was 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
She still said the word nigga, and, she got canned.
Yeah.
But then again, it is a male-dominated world. It's a man's world. You know what I mean? James Brown said it best.
And I think it's probably true.
The damage for him may not be as severe because he is a him versus she is a her. So we'll see.
All right, yeah, we'll see that. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Should Bill Maher lose his job for his use of the N-word, calling himself a house nigga?
Because you know how light-skinned people are.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. What is your social media?
Rifah to you.
Rifah to you.
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick break, come back for our last topic, and we'll be back after this.
Yep.